Christmas, everybody, and welcome to Bitman TV. Obviously, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Press the like button there, and press the subscribe button. It's one of the two bits. So here's your Christmas review for Raw and Smackdown this week commencing December 19th. It starts with Paul Heyman basically saying, "Welcome to Raw. I am the advocate for your tribal chief, head of the table, and my name is Paul Heyman." Then Roman is there and he's basically saying they have an issue with KO. The issue needs to be sorted. They're gonna send a message to the whole Raw locker room. Then it goes to another scene, and then you've got the Usos, Solo, Sami Zayn beating down Mustafa Ali and random people. So yeah, good start. Then we have Street Profits and Tozawa versus Judgment Day in a decent match, but it resulted in a roll-up win for Montez, which was pretty good. But then what happened after the match, Rhea Ripley started arguing with Tozawa, and then she called him out to a match. They had a match and Rhea Ripley won. Wow. So a good win for Rhea Ripley. Then Adam Pearce actually said he spoke to Bobby Lashley in regards to being fired, and I don't know if they're working something out. Why he said that, MVP turned upon the set saying he's got a proposition for Adam Pearce, but he couldn't talk about it because then there was more fighting with the bloodline and someone got beat down. Ziggler got beat down as well, and so did Cedric Alexander. So bloodline are rolling rampant on Raw. Then we had the OC versus Alpha Academy, really good match. OC won. Then there was attacked by the bloodline, all members. Bloodline was basically saying they're the twos and everyone else is the ones. They're running things and they're here to stay, and Raw belongs to the bloodline. That proceeded when the bloodline walked into the back. Sammy was then attacked by AJ, and then AJ said he wants Sammy tonight to Adam Pearce. Then Alexa Bliss was sitting down with Bianca Belair. Alexa Bliss says Bray Wyatt left her for dead, left her, and she basically was alone and she had all these problems. And Bianca Belair, it's a sit down sort of couch talk between her and Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair was saying she doesn't trust her after her previous actions trying to attack her, but she stopped. And then they shook hands as Bianca Belair was walking away. Alexa Bliss hit her in the head with a glass jar. So, I had shades of Shawn Michaels kicking Marty Jannetty with a kick through the glass. I don't know why. Then we had Miz versus Dexter in a ladder match for all the money, all the cash. Miz is going through financial hardship at the moment. Really good match. Go and watch it if you haven't seen it. But in the end, there was some interference from, I believe the guy's name is Bronson Reed, I think. Some big guy totally took out Dexter, and obviously Miz got the win. Good for Miz. Then we had AJ versus Sami Zayn in a really good match, but obviously there was interference from Solo, who hit AJ with a spike to the neck, which then Sami got the pin. So yeah, okay. Then we had Seth basically come to the ring saying to Roman and the bloodline, they do not run Raw. Raw belongs to Seth Rollins. As we were saying that, Theory comes out. Theory basically was tearing into Seth, saying how he's not the best there. Out of the Shield, he was the weakest member. His career's not really going anywhere. And Seth basically said to him, he is the measuring stick and he is nowhere on Seth's level. And as we were saying that, Usos turned up and Seth goes to Theory, hey, let's just leave all this. It's me and you versus the Usos because the bloodline looking to take us out. Obviously, Theory bailed, and then Seth started to get a beat down. And then KO came out for the save, so it's very interesting. And then it was Bailey versus Becky in a really good match. They haven't had a match, I think, in like 3 years or 4 years or something like that. Really good match. But interference from Damage Control. Bailey got the win. Massive win. Then there's a match set up with KO and Seth versus the Usos. So in the back, KO and Seth are basically talking, getting back on page, because remember, they used to be best friends. So they're setting the match up. But in the main event of the evening, it was Seth Rollins and KO versus the Usos. Really good match. Go and watch, I haven't seen it. But in the end, KO got the win. And then after he got the win, Sammy turned up to jump him, but Sammy then retracted and didn't do anything. So we'll see how that plays out. Then we have SmackDown. SmackDown starts with the bloodline coming out. The whole bloodline, Roman Reigns, everybody. Roman Reigns is now on 845 days of title reign. He basically comes out and says, well, he didn't say anything first. Paul Heyman came out and says, Solo is going to beat Sheamus. The Uso will beat Hit Row later on in SmackDown. And then Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn will destroy Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn will destroy John Cena and KO. Then Roman basically come out and says, well, we have a problem, a KO problem. Sami Zayn then states he's going to eviscerate and destroy Cena and KO and show them why they should acknowledge their tribal chief, basically. So we will see what happens. Then it was Hit Row, Usos versus Hit Row. Really good match, but come on now. Hit Row hasn't been winning lately. Usos win. They are now in their 523-day reign, which is really good. Then we had a gauntlet match for the women's to face. Who's going to face Ronda Rousey, I think 2 weeks on SmackDown. So it was Emma versus Xia Li, first match. Xia Li wins. Then it's Tegan versus Xia Li. Then Xia Li wins. Then it's Xia Li versus Rodriguez. Then Rodriguez wins. Then it's Rodriguez versus Liv Morgan. Rodriguez wins. Then it's Rodriguez versus Sonya Deville, which is meant to be the final match. Rodriguez wins, but then Ronda Rousey comes out and goes, no, there's another match. Then it's Rodriguez versus Shayna Baszler, but Rodriguez wins again by roll-up. So it's going to be Rodriguez versus Ronda Rousey in 2 weeks. That should be interesting. Then we had Bray Wyatt came out and says basically, LA Knight needs to apologise to him because it wasn't him who did the attacking. It was Howdy B. I can't remember the guy's name. It wasn't him anyway, so he wants a apology. But then I thought Bray forgot his words or something. But then he just froze and then he went crazy and started attacking the cameraman. So I'm not sure what happened there. Then we had Angel versus Angel from Los Rios. I forgot their name. But Angel versus Rey Mysterio, really good match, but Rey won. Then in the back, Emma confronts Scarlett because Scarlett and Cross were ringside watching Rey trying to taunt him. Scarlett slaps, Emma slaps Scarlett, and then basically her fella Cross says, you're going to pay for that. So we'll see. Then we had a John Cena tribute. Obviously, he's one of the greatest of all time, 16-time world champion, main evented multiple WrestleManias, beating everybody. Everything, Royal Rumbles, everything. So yeah, he'll be back. Then in the main event of the evening, it was Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus Imperium in a Christmas street fight. A fun match, loads of weapons, loads of Christmas stuff. Go and watch, you haven't seen it. But in the end, Ricochet wins. So that is your review of Raw and SmackDown, week commencing December 19th. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas.